I transmigrated into this story, and I've already twisted the plot. Brace yourselves, because this is going to be hilariously insane. My first time picking up my stepson from school, I deliberately chose a lacy bunny outfit, fully intending to gracefully stumble and fall into his arms. But who was this 8-year-old kid standing before me? What the heck? After discovering I'd transmigrated 10 years too early and was now stuck acting out a script from an adult novel, I decided to quit. The system, in response, offered me adult toys. So I pulled a pair of stockings over my head, grabbed a whip, and chased my stepson for 2 kilometers, screaming, 4 points in math, are you trying to drive me insane? Then the system forced me to ply my stepson with food and lure him into his room to teach him cooking. For an hour, I, already full, kept prodding him, chop faster. This Buddha jumps over the wall is a bit chewy, so for your punishment, drink a bottle of milk. Later, my CEO husband, whom I'd thought dead for years, returned, only to confront me, the supposed morally depraved one. My terrifyingly proper stepsons, disgusted, promptly kicked him out of the house. You couldn't even keep mom happy, so why do you think you're fit to be our father? They declared. As a professional leading lady from an adult story, seducing an 18-year-old, 1.8-meter-tall stepson, 18 centimeters, easy as pie. But first, a hasty goodbye to my CEO husband, Daniel Han, who'd fled abroad right after our marriage registration. I then drove to pick up my stepson, Ethan, from school. But could someone explain to me this 8-year-old kid, barely 1.2 meters tall, sipping milk and clutching a Chaman backpack? What on earth was going on? Apologies, host. Due to a system error, you've transmigrated 10 years too early. So what? I came here to be a beautiful stepmother who only luxuriates, not a full-time nanny stepmother who has to do everything but enjoy herself. I exploded. The system abruptly disconnected. The little boy tugged at my sleeve. Are you Aunt Stella, the one Dad mentioned? My name is Ethan. It's our first meeting. Please take care of me. This 8-year-old villainous stepson was surprisingly polite, wasn't he? But was this innocent scene really supposed to be in an adult novel? I pulled my black puffer jacket tighter, denying coldly, you have the wrong person. Just as I turned to leave, a powerful electric shock jolted from my feet straight to my brain. The system's warning blared. Host has not completed the initial meeting mission, activating electric shock penalty. I collapsed to the ground, hands and feet twitching, spitting a puff of green smoke. I forced a professional customer service smile at the child. Right, your dad asked me to pick you up after school. The boy blinked his innocent, star-like eyes, then squatted down charmingly in front of me. Aunt Stella, your bunny ears are so pretty, can I touch them? As someone who'd hated children since birth, I politely rebuffed him. Touch what? The system immediately chimed in. Host shows signs of resistance. Activating electric shock penalty. 3, 2, 1. I lay convulsing on the ground, a fierce expression on my face. Immediately, I grabbed the child's hand and pressed it to my head. Go on, touch it. From now on, I'll be your mom. After driving the child around the neighborhood a few times, I couldn't take it anymore. I blurted out, keep chattering like that and I'll throw you out of the car. The boy in the seat next to me pouted indignantly, stuffing his trading cards into his Chaman backpack. Heavens above. According to the original script, my 18-year-old stepson and I were supposed to have a fierce, 2-hour conflict in the car, not sit here listening to an 8-year-old babbling about trivial things like how many eggs he ate for breakfast, how many red flowers his teacher gave him, how many trading cards he won, or how girls fought over sitting next to him. Moreover, in an adult story, being called stepmom was supposed to be thrilling. But when he called me stepmom, I just felt annoyed. I cursed under my breath. System, you're crazy. You transmigrated me at the wrong time and are forcing these strict missions on me. Do I really have to stay out for 2 whole hours before going home? The system pretended to be silent. The more I thought, the angrier I got. I pulled out my phone and called my CEO husband, Daniel Han, who was slacking off abroad. Daniel Han, you evil jerk, you tricked me into getting a certificate just to babysit your kid, didn't you? I cursed his entire family lineage for a full 5 minutes. Only then did the bewildered CEO husband timidly admit his fault. I'm sorry, darling, you've had it tough. Just take this money for now. If you need more, just say the word. My Alipay account received 50 million yuan, and my mood immediately brightened. After enduring 2 hours to finally get home, I kicked off my high heels and collapsed onto the sofa. Just then, the system announced a new mission. Accidentally encounter your stepson bathing, slip, and fall into the bathtub, soaking wet like a drowned rat. Ambiguity level SS. I blurted out, "Damn it." The boy, who had just put down his backpack, whipped around to look at me. Swallowing my curse, I casually took a drag from an imaginary cigarette. Go take a bath. Ethan had been in the bathroom for half an hour, and I was restlessly pacing outside. Even though I was a responsible female lead from an adult story, I really couldn't bring myself to lay a hand on an 8-year-old. I wasn't a pervert. By the system's third warning, I grabbed a sponge and, gritting my teeth, entered. The boy was soaking in a bubbly bath, 2 yellow rubber ducks bobbing around him. Seeing me, his face flushed, and he quickly covered himself. "Get out, what are you doing in here?" I gave a scornful, faint laugh. "Your tiny little thing, who'd even bother to look whether you cover it or not?" The boy wouldn't back down. "It's just because I'm not grown up yet. When I grow up, I'm sure it'll be very impressive." Oh, I knew that much. In the original novel, 18-year-old Ethan had six-pack abs and could fight 17 rounds in one night. After losing his virginity, he even used all sorts of positions and props. Just thinking about it made my legs tremble. But this 8-year-old boy in front of me now, I looked at him with disgust, turned my back, and sat down quietly. "What for?" "For a back rub, what else? You're filthy. Has no one ever scrubbed your back before?" A back rub was the least perverse reason I could think of to complete the mission. The boy cried out, "Ow, that hurts, be gentle." I had no choice but to deliver my lines according to the script. "Endure it, darling. Tonight you won't escape my grasp." Half an hour later, I emerged from the bathroom, soaked like a drowned chicken. The system reported, keywords identified, filthy, ow, endure it. Mission progress, soaking wet 100%. Host awarded 2 seduction points. I looked at the smiling emoji with my deep eye bags. Hee hee. When I was so exhausted I had to lie in bed breathing oxygen, the system assigned the third mission of the day. Wear transparent sleepwear, sleep with your stepson, and experience a full and happy night. Concealment difficulty, extremely high. I roared in exasperation, "Will you just let a person rest?" The system responded with 3 consecutive question marks. Right, of course. The female lead in an adult story was naturally blessed with extraordinary stamina. But me. Someone who could single-handedly handle complex and drawn-out situations like a 4-piece scenario, now completely drained by an 8-year-old boy? Who would believe it? Numb from electric shocks, I reluctantly got up, resigned to putting on the transparent nightgown the system provided. I knocked on his door for a full 10 minutes before the boy cautiously opened a crack. "What are you going to do now?" I blocked the door with my foot and slipped inside. "Why lock the door? This is my room. I'm grown up, boys and girls need to keep their distance. Stepmom, if you dare touch me again, I'll tell Dad." Wow, 8-year-old Ethan turned out to be so morally upright. What on earth happened in 10 years that he transformed into such a demon? I quickly pushed aside those dark thoughts, deliberately picked up his poorly graded math test from his backpack, tapped it on the desk, and pouted. "Fine, go tell Dad. Tell him you're in 2nd grade and got 6 points on your math test. Let's see if he beats you or me when he gets back." The boy's face turned beet red with anger. "What do you want, really? I'm your stepmom. Looking after your studies is my responsibility." A perfectly flawless reason, a truly reasonable excuse. "Even if you're supervising my studies, you don't need to dress like this." I looked down at myself. Indeed, my appearance was ridiculous. Underneath the transparent dress, I wore a thermal top, thermal pants, a wool sweater, wool pants, and red-soled high heels, all paired with fluffy sleeping socks. Honestly, I wanted to stuff another puffer jacket in there, but unfortunately it wouldn't fit anymore. The transparent dress was practically about to rip apart. The system silently gave a like, praising me as a master of loopholes. I ignored the system, giving the kid a huge, disdainful glare. This is how I like it. Then I casually flopped onto his bed, using the scolding tone of a typical TV parent. "You're so young, yet your studies are already a mess like this. You'll definitely have no future. I'll be watching you tonight. Don't even dream of going to sleep until you've finished 200 exercises." The next morning, the system recorded that the target for conquest had deep eye bags, a weakened body, and noticeably listless spirits. In contrast, I had a high fever all night, sweating profusely as if I'd just showered. The system concluded that we had both struggled too much last night and announced that I had completed the mission brilliantly. Wool sweater, wool pants, thermal top, thermal pants. Yep, you know whose credit that is. Just like that, 2 weeks passed, living with my stepson. My loophole-exploiting skills became increasingly proficient, and my seduction index soared. But what was the point? I sighed, looking up at the sky. This was an adult story. Every day I was just at home glaring at a little kid. No matter how beautiful I was, it was useless. The usually silent system finally spoke. Second conquest target is about to appear. I sprang up from the sofa like a beached fish. How old? Is he adult-aged yet? Conquest target, Ken, Ethan's stepuncle, age 27 this year. A brother-in-law romance? Sounds interesting. Eagerly, I went to the bathroom to wash my hair, thinking about what to wear to make a good impression on my little uncle-in-law at our first meeting, when I suddenly smelled something off. The boy, wearing an apron, carried a pitch-black, unidentifiable dish out of the kitchen, grumbling, "It's too hard, I don't want to learn anymore." I frowned, using a wet towel to wipe his smoke-stained face, then patiently advised, "If you can't cook this dish, you have to learn another. Otherwise, when you grow up, no girl will like you, understand?" Taking advantage of his young, less intelligent mind, I continued to coax him. "Good boy, go pour stepmom a glass of milk. Remember to warm it up, okay?" He obediently brought it to me, but I accidentally dropped it. The milk spilled all over him. The boy glared at me indignantly. "You did that on purpose, didn't you?" I didn't even bother to look up, continuing to do my makeup in the mirror. "Just slipped, that's all. You'll be late for school soon, go change your clothes. The delivery person is waiting downstairs to take you to school." Just as the boy turned and walked away, the system announced, "Congratulations, host. Kitchen cooking mission. Soaked in milk, ambiguity level SSS completed." The boy immediately ran out of his room, clutching several brand new tagged clothes, angrily asking me, "Where did all my clothes in the closet go?" "Threw them all away, those old wrinkled clothes with short sleeves. I don't want everyone thinking your stepmom abuses you. Stop whining and hurry to school. Buy breakfast on the way." I conveniently slipped a few 100,000 notes into his Chaman backpack and shooed him out of the house. I didn't want my upcoming romantic date to be ruined by the kid. It was cold. Uncle Ken walked into the unlocked mansion. I was in the bathroom, diligently fixing the showerhead while dressed in a nurse's outfit. Due to my carelessness, the showerhead sprayed water nonstop, soaking me completely and revealing my alluring curves. "Need some help?" Startled, I turned and accidentally slipped, falling. The man swiftly wrapped his arm around my waist, pulling me into his embrace. Pressed against his chest, I subtly bit my lip, shyly lowering my head. "Thank you." He lifted me into his arms, and a powerful masculine scent filled my nostrils. Damn it, this was the perfect encounter for an adult novel. This was the destiny a female lead like me deserved. No need for empty words, just a glance and action. We were like fire to straw, heading straight to the main event. Yes, the one thing a female lead in an adult story needs least is morality. Just as I was about to wrap my arms around the man's neck and lose myself, Ethan returned home from school. The boy was frantically pounding on the door outside. "Stepmom, are you in there? Open the door. Uncle, please don't hurt stepmom. Take whatever you want, just spare her." This annoying kid. Opening my eyes in annoyance, I pushed the man off me. "How about we save this for next time? Isn't it more fun if others see us?" He smiled faintly and seemed genuinely intent on opening the door. Immediately, I hooked my leg around his calf, whining, "No, I'm too shy." But inside, I screamed at the system, "Is this guy crazy?" After the system quickly checked his information, I finally realized that the man before me was the one causing negative psychological effects on Ethan. Driven by unrequited love, he harbored deep resentment towards Ethan's birth mother. As revenge, he wanted to turn her son into a dark, gloomy person like himself. He had secretly installed cameras in the villa and subtly renovated the basement. Every day, he monitored Ethan's life, slowly eroding the boy's worldview. When the system announced that he was about to imprison and psychologically manipulate Ethan, my anger exploded. I gritted my teeth. "System, find me 47 mortars. Damn it, I'm going to send this bastard to hell." The system was helpless. "I'm a story system, I don't have hot weapons." "Then what asterisk do you have? Bring it all out." Immediately, on a nearby table, a pink furry handcuff, a leather whip, fox ear headband, and fishnet stockings suddenly appeared. The moment the boy rushed in with a spare key to save me, I had gone berserk and beaten Ken. "You wouldn't even spare an 8-year-old child. Trash like you deserves to go to hell." Ken was now handcuffed to the bed frame with the pink furry cuffs, his mouth gagged with fishnet stockings, and his body covered in whip marks. I fiercely threw the whip, which broke in two, and hurled everything else in the room at him. Seeing he was unconscious, Ethan rushed over, clinging to my leg, crying and begging, "Stepmom, stop, don't hit him anymore." I struggled to suppress my rage. I put the chair down, covered the boy's eyes, and pushed him outside. Good boy, don't be scared, don't look. Go call the police. The moment the door closed, I was struck by an electric shock and fell. The system blared a piercing warning, demanding that the host return to the main mission immediately. This time, I refused. I sank into a dream, seeing my mother. She was always busy, bustling about with different men. The father was a brilliant CEO, the uncle was a famous actor, the stepbrother always bought me candy when we met, and there was even a music teacher. Even the construction workers at the site. It was only much later that I discovered my mother was the female lead in an 18-plus novel. The CEO father often gifted me dazzling dresses and beautiful high heels. The uncle meticulously taught me how to do makeup. The stepbrother unhesitatingly let me use various skincare products and even held my hand to teach me how to please men. They constantly told me, from the moment you were born, you were destined to follow in your mother's footsteps, becoming the female lead of the next generation's adult story. When my mother found out, she was furious. The gentle woman I once knew used scissors to shred all my dresses, smashed all my makeup. She violently wiped away the lipstick from my lips and locked me in my room, preventing me from interacting with anyone. I resented her and didn't speak to her for a long time. On my 18th birthday, the CEO father invited many high society figures to throw me a lavish coming-of-age party. That night, my mother again locked me in my room, but with my stubborn nature, I decided to climb out the window to escape. As soon as I stepped into the grand hall, a strong metallic smell of blood assaulted my nostrils. Father, uncle, stepbrother, and many others lay motionless on the floor, showing no signs of life. Mother stood among them, a dagger in her hand, her body stained red. Mom! I stood frozen in place, terrified. Mother pushed me out the door, laughing and saying, "Good girl, don't be afraid, don't look at anything, go call the police." That day, Mother's adult story system connected with me, and Mother also vanished without a trace. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. The system hadn't eliminated me. It informed me that to prevent chaos in this small world, the second conquest target, Ken, had been erased. In return, a large amount of my accumulated points from many years would be deducted. The system asked me, "You're only 500 points away from 10,000 points, and then you can find out your mother's whereabouts. Do you regret this decision?" I looked down at the sleeping child beside me and nodded. If Mom knew I did this, she would definitely be very happy. I wasn't merely saving that boy, I was also saving the little girl my mother once loved and cherished so much. After a period of recovery, the system announced that my third conquest target was about to appear. That morning, I meticulously put on beautiful makeup before taking my son to school. "Ethan, who is she?" An innocent child's voice piped up, blocking my way right at the entrance to the school building. Looking down, I saw a little girl in a white dress with pigtails, her cheeks puffed out in an angry pout. My son quickly pulled her aside, pointing to his head and saying with annoyance, "Keep your voice down, Luna. Her mind isn't stable. She just smashed up the house and got struck by lightning, ending up in the hospital." Luna, I remembered the boy's future lover also had this name. This girl was one of the few female supporting characters in the novel, part of a love triangle drama between me and my stepson, Ethan. Luna looked at me warily, then suddenly pointed at my face and yelled, "So you're that bad woman. Ethan doesn't like you. Stay away from him from now on." My appearance was naturally attractive, and now with the little girl shouting so loudly, all eyes turned to me. I smoothed my hair, smiling elegantly and charmingly. With a hot body and fair skin like mine, he doesn't like me. Is he supposed to like a short, tiny girl with a lump on her left hand? What makes you think you'll even play the piano when you grow up? The girl's face flushed crimson with anger. Panting, she pulled out a grade 10 piano certificate from her Elsa Princess backpack and brandished it in front of me. "Just you wait until I grow up. I'll definitely be taller than you, prettier than you, and become a famous piano artist." "Fine. When you've had that lump removed in the hospital and become a real piano artist, come find me for a showdown, okay?" I pulled out my eyeliner and drew an X on her wrist, marking the lump's position. Fearing the girl couldn't describe it clearly, I even carefully added a few more words. Seeing the black ink stain her pristine white dress, the girl burst into tears. Ethan rushed to comfort her, but to no avail. He turned to me, scolding, "That's her favorite dress. Why are you bullying children like that?" I pouted, capping my eyeliner. "Because I'm a bad woman, that's why." My first parent-teacher conference, and I was mercilessly criticized by the teachers. I didn't even feel ashamed wearing revealing clothes to a celebration party, yet here, I actually did. Sitting on the steps, I ate ice cream to soothe the heat while helping the kid write his self-reflection report. Just then, a notification blared from the system. Third conquest target has appeared. Countdown 3, 2, 1. Ethan, why didn't you help me with cleanup duty after school yesterday? Hearing the voice, my eyes slowly lifted. Small leather shoes, denim pants, a leather jacket, sunglasses exactly my style. My heart started to pound until I realized his height was only equal to Ethan's. My heart instantly turned cold. Just as predicted, it was another child. The system enthusiastically introduced the identity of this conquest target, Ethan's sworn rival, Victor. Personal label: school bully, motorcycle god, a public masochist who enjoys being tortured. Just because you protected your stepson and slapped him, he will forcefully take you regardless of the circumstances, even creating the classic two-men-one-woman sandwich scene in the story. I secretly sighed. School bully, forced sandwich. I could crush him into crumbs with one hand. People are so different from their descriptions. Can you please be a little more reliable? The system chuckled wryly. My data is for 18-year-old Victor, but even an 8-year-old boy can carry the aura of a school bully, right? Haha. I chewed on my ice cream stick, slowly stood up, and laughed at the school bully who was only hip-high to me. What kind of aura can a little kid have? Ethan, I made it clear what the consequences were for not helping me with cleanup duty, didn't I? Seeing him raise his hand to hit the little tyke, I immediately grabbed his wrist, conveniently picked up the broom leaning in the corner and swatted his bottom with it. Too young to learn good manners, but you've learned to bully your friends. Who are you? What right do you have to control me? I'm his mom. Victor dodged and sneered. Everyone knows Ethan is an orphan no one wants. Where did you come from claiming to be his mom? Stepmom. According to the script's requirement, the harder I hit, the more Victor would be obsessed with me. But looking at this scrawny, bone-thin kid, I was genuinely afraid of hurting him. The broomstick hit the wall 3 times, clattered on the ground 3 times, and only once actually landed on his bottom. His shriek immediately made me stop. I quickly pulled down his clothes to check for any injuries. The moment I pulled them down, my heart ached. His entire body was covered in old and fresh scars, bruises everywhere. He had clearly endured abuse for a long time. No wonder he grew up to be someone who enjoyed sadomasochism. Oh, sorry, Victor's parents. I accidentally sent the wrong picture. I got Victor's parents' contact number from the teacher. His stepmother had already reported me to the police, warning me not to interfere in their private affairs. His father didn't answer his phone or reply to messages, seemingly not caring about his son at all. I decided to accidentally send that father a sexy selfie from the bathroom. This time, he replied instantly. I'm sure the kids just had a little spat, you don't need to worry. But I still felt uneasy. Tonight, may I treat you to dinner to personally apologize? Less than an hour later, Victor's busy, wealthy father sat across from me. I clasped my hands, eyes brimming with tears, feigning pitiful coquetry. I'm so sorry, it's because my child was insensible. This glass of wine is my apology to you. He snorted, already 7/10 charmed by me. Seeing a woman in a red dress aggressively charging towards me, I quickly retracted my leg, which was rubbing against the man's trousers under the table, evaded, and then forcefully splashed the entire glass of red wine onto her face. Taking advantage of her stunned state, I weakly hid behind the man, my eyes welling up. I'm truly sorry, I didn't mean to. Please don't let your relationship be strained because of me, or I'll be consumed by guilt. She was furious, smashing things around her. She cursed me as a damn green tea bitch, a slut who seduces her man. A cheap woman with a flat figure, a plastic surgery face, and such cruel hands. Do you even deserve to be a stepmom? When she grabbed a banana from the fruit plate and threw it, I pretended to shield the man, then took his hand, smiling weakly. I'm fine, don't blame her. Victor's family situation was similar to Ethan's. If I was going to save one, I had to save both. Before the dinner, I had asked Victor, how about I get you a different stepmom? I'm already used to raising one kid, what's one more? As a female lead in an adult story, seducing men was a mandatory skill. I only needed to stay in the hospital for 2 days, feigning medical knowledge, diagnosing him with liver and stomach problems, then sending a homemade lunchbox to his company. Next, I posted several alluring photos on social media with a few melancholic captions, building an image of a strong yet fragile but resilient single mother. I subtly showed concern for him, praised him a few times, playing hard to get. Just like that, Victor's father was head over heels for me, even declaring he would immediately divorce his fourth wife to marry me. I triumphantly told the system, "New record, no need for the act asterisk, just 7 days and it's done." The system replied, "Too bad the target you need to conquer is his son. You don't understand, they say if you want to catch the cub, you first catch the father." Both father and son joining the battle, I'm not afraid. I was passionately recounting my glorious victories when the kid arrived with a pile of dirty clothes to settle accounts. "Stepmom, do you have shaky hands? This is the 7th pair of my pants you've accidentally soiled today. If not, how else would I complete the 7 times a night mission?" My heart ached for all that cream. I pulled a pair of black silk stockings over my head, pounced, and wrestled the boy to the ground, telling him, "Stepmom will teach you all her life's ultimate moves, make sure to master them." Half an hour later, I and the boy lay sprawled on the floor, exhausted. The system announced, "Congratulations, host, you have unlocked 54 new wrestling moves. Ambiguous mission SSS completed." I gasped for breath, took a gulp of milk, and patiently instructed, "Next time someone bullies you, just use these wrestling moves to fight back, remember?" "Yes." A few seconds later, the boy suddenly shrieked, embarrassed, "Ah, my 8th pair of pants." While he was in his room changing, I casually asked, "How's Victor doing these days?" "He's absent from school, ma'am. His stepmom asked for a long sick leave." "A long leave, huh? All right then. My priority now was adopting a second stepson. Hurry and change, we're going to visit Victor." I brought a cake to the boy's house. Without needing the maid to announce us, I led the little tyke straight into the house. Victor's room door was ajar, and from inside came his stepmom's pleading voice. "Victor, you must convince your father not to divorce me, okay? If I leave, who will love you then? Just get a little sicker and Dad will come home. Be a good boy, eat a little more." I peeked through the door crack, seeing the stepmom trying to force Victor to eat a bowl of ice. The air conditioner in the room was set to its coldest, and the boy was lying huddled on the bed in only thin clothes, coughing hoarsely, not even having a blanket. Keeping calm, I told the little tyke to wait downstairs, then entered the room and locked the door. Before either of them could understand what was happening, I snatched the bowl of ice, delivered a kick that sent the woman sprawling to the ground, then climbed on top of her and furiously shoved ice into her mouth. Eat it quickly. When you die, his dad will love you." She coughed and choked. Just as the ice was almost gone, a large hand grabbed me and lifted me up. Turns out I had been too engrossed in the beating and hadn't noticed Victor's father had returned. My legs turned to jelly, and I quickly feigned fainting. The man, blind with love, didn't suspect a thing. He pointed directly at the pathetic woman on the floor and cursed, "You wicked woman. That mother and son rely on each other, they're so pitiful, yet you dared to secretly hire someone to smash their windows, scratch their car, and even run around with a knife calling them a monster. Today she only brought a cake to celebrate my birthday and you treat her like this. I didn't do it." "Of course you didn't, because I'm the one who hired them to vandalize. I saw it with my own eyes and you're still denying it. Get out of this house now, divorce." The man carried me and placed me on a bed in another room. I suddenly awoke from my nightmare, choking back tears as I wrapped my arms around his neck. Before, whenever I took my child out, people always bullied me. This is the first time I've felt a man's protection. Thank you. My shirt slipped, revealing my shoulder. Noticing the man's breathing growing heavier, I actively moved my tear-moistened lips closer. Just as our lips were about to touch, a short alarm blared from downstairs. He immediately panicked, pushed me away, and rushed to the window to check the situation. "What's wrong? Hide quickly." I tightly grasped his hand, taking the opportunity to sincerely express myself. "I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. Darling, I'll take care of the boy for you. You should go abroad and lie low for a while." The man looked dazed, his eyes astonished. It seemed he had never met a woman so foolish as to willingly take in someone else's stepson, expecting no reward, yet still wholeheartedly waiting for him to return like me. I continued to pour sweet nothings into his ear. "Even though our time together hasn't been long, I love you. I'm willing to do anything for you." In that moment, he was completely moved by me, even signing the adoption agreement I had prepared beforehand. That man, in his middle age, thought he had found the true bright moon of his life. Little did he know that my consistent target was his son, Victor. I walked away, holding one child's hand, head held high. Throughout the journey, Victor was sullen, not saying a word. Clearly, the boy still couldn't accept the fact that his father had fled abroad and he had to change stepmothers. That night, the two children, sharing a room, got into a fight. The reason was suspicion that the other had used an eraser to erase all the completed homework. Life gradually settled down. Every day, I diligently completed the system's missions, then found every possible way to make the two children fight. I waited until Ethan was provoked and unleashed his devious tricks. I waited until Victor was angered and retaliated. After they were tired of fighting and no longer hitting each other, I would then appear to arbitrate fairly. That day, the system informed me, the fourth conquest target is about to appear. A strong, muscular physique, capable of satisfying all her desires. This time, everything necessary has been thoroughly prepared. What do you say? Just then, I suddenly received a message from the homeroom teacher. My eyes widened in surprise, and I quickly snatched my phone, leaping out of bed. I grabbed my whip and stormed out. Ethan was wearing an apron, cooking, while Victor was stuffing paper into his nose to unclog the toilet. Both looked at me anxiously. Holding the final exam report card I just received from the homeroom teacher, I rolled up my sleeves, ready to administer justice. I've tutored you two for days, yet one gets barely 4 points and the other 5. Together, you don't even make it to double digits. You two want a beating, don't you? As soon as they realized their secret was out, the two kids scrambled to escape. I accidentally bumped hard into a man's muscular chest. Looking up, it was a water delivery guy. Could this be the fourth conquest target the system mentioned? At that moment, my mind was spinning with anger, and I completely missed what the system was saying. This was the first time I'd revealed my true self to a target. I quickly hid the whip behind my back and forced a strained smile. Just as the delivery guy was about to use wiping up the spilled water as an excuse to get intimate, the two kids returned. They charged at the man, unleashing a barrage of insults. "Uncle, are you a pervert who likes to show off his body? Why aren't you wearing a shirt during work hours? You're so unprofessional, and you spilled water all over the floor I just cleaned. I'm going to report you." "It was my fault. I accidentally bumped into him." I quickly intervened, trying to stop the harsh words of my two ancestors. "The floor got wet by accident, that's all." Unfortunately, no one listened to my explanation. Ethan called the police about a strange intruder. Victor rolled up his sleeves and physically escorted the man out. A loud thud echoed, and my heart chilled by half. To think I, the leading lady of an adult story, had been celibate for half a year, if anyone knew, I'd be ridiculed. Due to the failed mission, I not only lost points but was also punished with an electric shock. I lay flat on the sofa, occasionally twitching. The two kids sat on the floor in front of me, offering bitter advice. "Stepmom, all our dads are useless. Men, in general, are no good. From now on, we'll protect you. What do you say, Mom?" Hearing that, what more could I ask for? In a flash, 10 years passed. Within a 300-meter radius around me, not a single man was to be seen. The neighborhood gossip started whispering, saying this beautiful and alluring widow had no one by her side. They were sure I was having an illicit affair with my two grown stepsons. I ignored them. A professional female lead like me, specializing in adult stories, wasn't exactly known for high morals. Yet, Ethan and Victor reacted like cats with their tails stepped on. They went to every house, smashing windows and using megaphones to threaten the entire neighborhood. If anyone dared to spread rumors again, they would cause trouble every single day. "Stepmom is the best person in the world to us. No one is allowed to speak ill of her." Under my very unconventional guidance, the original plot had completely changed. The school bully who loved motorcycles became a righteous young man, always ready to help the weak. The cold academic genius became a man who respected women, always cheerful and bright. Even the supporting female character completely abandoned her bad habits, becoming a true piano artist, a musical genius. Only I remained unchanged, truly a widow for a full 10 years. I sadly asked the system, which conquest target is next? The system pondered for a moment. The 73rd. I looked up at the sky in despair. Then why haven't I died yet? 'Cause the two stepsons' affection for you is too deep. Their accumulated points have compensated for your failures in the bedrooms of other conquest targets. Then when will I die? The system replied, "Soon. Once your terrible husband brings his white moonlight back to the country and deals with you, you can die a dignified death." My eyes lit up. If I find a way to lure those two back to the country first, can I end this sooner? Theoretically, yes. I immediately began to plan. Although I had diligently tutored my two stepsons for 10 years, helping them consistently rank first and second in school, passing the prestigious Tsinghua University still required even more rigorous training. The immediate goal was to get them into Tsinghua to impress my indifferent husband, hoping he would return. Every night, I used a whip to push them to study. Every weekend, I spared no expense to send them to Tsinghua cram classes. That day, as I dropped them off, I recognized the little girl from years ago, now a beautiful young woman. I teased Luna, "Do you have a private jet at your house?" The girl looked bewildered. I pointed to her chest, subtly scoffing. "Then why are you so flat? My two boys are so small, they're probably still wearing diapers." The girl suddenly understood, blushed, covered her chest, and sulked. "You meanie, you're the one who corrupted them. In your case, you need to drink a lot of milk to become as seductive as you are." I opened a bottle of milk and handed it to her, but accidentally let it slip. Ethan and Victor reacted swiftly, simultaneously catching the milk bottle. 10 years had passed, and their milk-catching skills had become increasingly refined. It had been a long time since I accidentally soiled their clothes. I felt a strange sense of loss. The two quickly finished the teacher's assignments, but Luna, with her poorer performance, had to stay behind for private tutoring. Going downstairs, I feigned a sprained ankle, sat dramatically on the steps, and coquettishly ordered my two stepsons to buy me flat shoes and an ice pack for my school. Once they were out of sight, I quickly returned to the classroom. Unexpectedly, the elevator was broken at just the wrong time. I looked at the dark staircase, gritted my teeth, took off my high heels, and climbed up to the 16th floor. The classroom was now empty. The pervert. The teacher's filthy hand was slowly sliding down Luna's shoulder. The girl was frozen with fear, not knowing what to do. I took a few deep breaths, pushed the door open, pretending to weakly fall into the man's arms, then gently pushed Luna away. "Darling, my leg hurts so much, could you rub it for me?" I cooed at the man, my eyes welling with tears, my fingers drawing small circles on his chest. My gaze was full of allure. "Look closely, am I not more beautiful than that little brat?" The girl's eyes widened in shock, her mouth agape. I looked at the trembling Luna with a triumphant smirk and said, "Now hurry up and go. Can't you see the teacher and I have something to discuss?" Just then, Luna snapped out of it, quickly turned around, and ran for her life. The system had previously revealed that Luna would encounter a perverted molester. After failing university, her mind would become unstable. To avenge Luna, Victor would beat the man into a vegetative state and flee, eventually getting caught and receiving a life sentence. Ethan, feeling guilty, would attempt suicide, but after failing, would completely give up on himself, letting himself and his stepmom wallow in depravity together. I vowed that before disappearing from this world, I had to prevent all those terrible things. I had to pave a bright future for my children. When they burst in to rescue me, I was swinging a table, ready to hurl it at the pervert. The teacher, whom I had just thrown, was red-faced with anger. "How dare your filthy hands touch me?" "Stepmom, Mom, calm down, don't hit him anymore, you'll kill him," Luna cried, clinging tightly to my leg, fearing a murder would occur. In front of the children, I tried to maintain my composure, then poked Luna's forehead with my finger, grimacing, and told her not to get snot on me. Gross! Girls should be clean and tidy. After that incident, I had to pay a considerable sum in compensation. The three teenagers stood before me, solemnly declaring, "When we earn money in the future, we will definitely pay you back every cent." I could only rub my forehead, helplessly saying, "As long as you study hard and get into Tsinghua, that will be the greatest repayment." My mother once said that if I got into Tsinghua, she would smile even in her dreams. Although I wasn't good at studying, my children were excellent students. If one day my mother could personally witness my children getting into Tsinghua, she would surely be very happy. At the awards ceremony, the three outstanding students who got into Tsinghua turned to the cameras and expressed their gratitude to me. Even though stepmom isn't very tidy, she often wastes food, always spills milk when holding it, never wipes her mouth after eating butter cake, and sometimes uses strange outfits to pressure us into studying late into the night. Even though she's not smart or quick-witted, likes to dress up and be flashy, speaks harshly, and is academically poor. In our eyes, she is the best stepmother, the most dedicated guardian in the world. On the stage, the three children formally expressed their affection. The system designated one person and announced, "This is your 74th conquest target." I wasn't particularly interested in the usual drama, but this target's appearance was exactly my type. As we were chatting cheerfully, I was suddenly lifted from behind. Ethan, ever so righteous, quickly pulled out his phone to call the police. "Hello, officer. Someone is trying to seduce my stepmom again. Even though he's handsome, young, capable, and wealthy, he's a bad person, shamelessly seducing an innocent woman right in front of us." Victor shielded me behind him, his eyes highly vigilant, monitoring every unusual movement within a 5-meter radius. He cracked his knuckles. "I just reviewed the 50 martial arts moves stepmom taught me. Anyone feeling itchy, come at me for a few rounds." Luna also pretended to pull out a junior lawyer's certificate and began rattling off legal clauses. According to Article 320 of our country's law, harassing women is punishable by an administrative fine of 5 to 10 days. If there are aggravating circumstances, the punishment will be stricter. Seeing that all 3 children were not easy to deal with, the man quickly turned and left, leaving me surrounded by the 3 children in their protective circle. They gave me resolute looks. "Stepmom, rest assured, from now on, we will protect you." I could only force a smile, secretly sighing in my heart. Damn it, do I really have to live the rest of my life as this exemplary stepmom? While I was still lamenting my fate as the nation's professional nanny, 3 uninvited guests suddenly appeared. "Ethan, it's Mom. Don't you recognize Mom?" "Victor, it's Dad here." I looked closely. Weren't these Victor's father and my nominal husband, Daniel Han? Had he brought his white moonlight back to the country? Victor saw his father heading straight for me and immediately charged, tackling him to the ground. "How dare you still try to approach my stepmom? Look at yourself." The middle-aged man was pushed, falling to the ground. The father screamed in despair, struggling and asking, "Victor, what are you doing? I'm your father." While Victor decisively severed ties, Ethan was also cornered by a couple. The woman, with tear-filled eyes, grabbed Ethan's hand, desperately pleading, "Ethan, I'm your birth mother. From now on, I will never leave you again. Do you agree?" My husband, Daniel Han, after 10 years of absence, coldly threw a check in my face. "Here's 5 million as compensation for the breakup. You can leave now. Don't think we were abroad all year and didn't know what games you've been playing with Ethan. Out of respect for you raising him, I'm giving you money so you can leave City A peacefully. Don't cling to him anymore. This is me giving you a lot of face." According to the original script, after the couple returned to the country, they would hear from the neighbors that I had ambiguous relationships with many men, even an illicit affair with my own stepson. Daniel Han, enraged, would use his power to make me disappear. Although I detested the actions of this shameless couple, who wanted to enjoy the fruits of my labor the moment they arrived, to quickly escape this world, I still had to bravely play the role of the wicked woman. I bent down, picked up the check, and dramatically tossed my long, alluring hair back. "I understand, then I'll be going." "Stepmom, stepmom." Ethan and Victor simultaneously held me back. Both shielded me behind them, vigilantly looking at their blood relatives standing opposite. "We don't know who you people are. You just show up and claim our son. How immoral." "I'm your mother and he's your father. Son, has she tortured you so much that your mind isn't stable anymore?" The woman began to sob again. "Clearly, your mom's poor child. If I hadn't known this woman had abandoned her children for love, completely ignoring her own son for 10 years, I would have truly believed she was a gentle, loving mother. I promised I would help you take care of Victor and wait for your return in the country. Have you forgotten everything?" Victor's father looked at me, his heart seemingly breaking. I looked up at the sky, whistled a tune, feigning confusion, deliberately acting as if I wanted no part of this romantic mess. Daniel Han witnessed everything, his disgust growing. He glared at me, blaming me for spoiling their son. "Ethan, has this woman threatened you, not letting you acknowledge your birth parents? Tell Dad, Dad will get justice for you." Seeing the situation, Daniel Han could no longer restrain himself. He released the surveillance video from the villa over the past year to the media, exposing irrefutable evidence of my seducing minors. Countless dark camera lenses flashed repeatedly towards the screen. After all, no headline was more sensational than 2 Tsinghua-bound students, and behind them a morally corrupt woman. I quickly took all the blame. "All right, no need to show it anymore. I'll just leave, okay?" How could I let them watch that video? After all, it was full of scenes of me breaking down, going crazy, and forcing them to study late every night. I didn't want to leave a stain on the image of a professional female lead in this world before I left. I secretly called the system. "Quickly, let me die. Take me to another terrible story world quickly." I was truly too tired of being an unpaid nanny for these kids. The system seemed to see through my pretense. I see you're enjoying yourself quite a bit. If you leave now, won't you feel sad? I forced a smile. I've nurtured these 2 children to become successful. I have no reason to stay in this world anymore. Furthermore, I should also go accumulate points to find my mother. She must be waiting for me somewhere. I turned around, looking deeply into their eyes one last time, then ruthlessly turned and walked away. In truth, I understood one thing clearly. Only without me would their lives gradually return to their rightful path. Later, in a small world, I finally accumulated enough points and found my mother in a pastoral novel about a fake CEO. I brought her back to the real world, and we lived a peaceful old age. The system told me the story after I left. Due to the eventual release of the surveillance video, Daniel Han and the ex-wife he had always adored faced a fierce wave of public criticism, forcing them to flee abroad, never to be seen again. Victor's father was arrested for tax fraud. Just before his arrest, he even publicly expressed his passionate feelings for me on social media. As for the 3 children, the system informed me that Ethan and Luna married. They had children and enjoyed a simple, happy life. Victor achieved the title of Actor Emperor and became an ambassador for the anti-school bullying campaign. I proudly boasted to my mother and the entire world that even though her mother wasn't perfect, her children were all successful. Before leaving, I had secretly placed a farewell letter under each child's pillow. The letter read, "My children, you are the precious gems in my dark life. You illuminated the path I've walked and guided me on the journey ahead." And in response to my sincerity, my children had said, "Stepmom, you are our pearl."